Right after giving birth and having a C-section, I had to walk down this long ass hallway, like in so much pain, just to go see my son and hold him for an hour.
You said there was a lot of medical horror stories there. Do you have one that you know of that had?
No, I actually never, nothing ever.
Not personally you, but just one that you heard.
That you know that happened while you were there.
Several. So, there were women who were in the hospital. It was an actual hospital. So I worked as an INA, which is a nursing assistant, while I was there. And women would, they would get the wrong medications. They would get the wrong treatments. Doctors would ignore things. Women would die. Several different things. People would, something would happen. You would, something with their leg or something, and then they would let it go, and they would have to end up losing their leg, or, just so many medical horror stories came from FMC Carswell.
What happens when a woman does deliver a baby in the feds or in prison?
I actually was pregnant and delivered a baby myself.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the third time I went in, I was pregnant with my son, and they send you to Galveston, the medical unit in Galveston, and you're handcuffed to a bed, and you give birth. They do a lot of emergency C-sections there because it's a teaching hospital. And so most of the women that go there to give birth to babies, they have to have a C-section for some reason. So they...
Not by choice, just...
Not by choice. I honestly believe and truly that they'll tell you that there's something wrong with the baby, and so many women come out of there. Too many number of women come out of there with C-sections, so something is fishy. So they told me that the baby's heart rate was dropping or something, so they had to do an emergency C-section. So I was handcuffed, went in to have my C-section. They took him out, they take him away, and they wheel you into the back, into a room with 2 beds. They make you get up by yourself to shower. Like as soon as I had my C-section, I had to get up by myself. And I got to see my son for an hour. And in order to do that, right after giving birth and having a C-section, I had to walk down this long ass hallway, like in so much pain, just to go see my son and hold him for an hour. And then my family, my mom and my grandma, thank God, came to pick him up. But they rip your baby away.
If no one is there to pick him up, do they go to the state?
Yeah.
Wow. You mentioned you're handcuffed. So even while giving birth, handcuffed to a bed. Wow. Man, the things. Your children, who took your children over?
So they got adopted out. Unfortunately, when I was incarcerated in the feds 2 years into my sentence, my mom was still trapped in the cycle of addiction, and somebody had called CPS on her. And we didn't have anybody to take my kids. And so one visitation, she showed up without them. And I didn't have anybody to take them. So I had to sign over my rights to my kids 2 years into my sentence.
Their status now, are you aware of where they are?
Yes. So I'm my oldest is actually 22. So she's thriving, doing great. She's in nursing school. And I have contact with my youngest son, my youngest son. He's just turned 15. Oh my gosh, he's about to get his driver's license.
Amazing.
But the other 2 I do not have contact with, unfortunately, not until they're 18.
Okay. When we do these things, we just be scratching the surface. So this more so serves as an introduction to your story. And again, with Ijizzle, I do want him to, of course, assist with narrating, through these things, because again, there's so much more story to tell. And I know we all try to get an introduction first of the story, and then we get further into prison stories. But the one story I do want to ask you, as far as, just throughout your time through Fed and state, for you, what was your go-to just to kind of pass time? What was either a day in the life, or what did you do to just get through your time?
God. Yeah. Singing. Choir. I took every and any class that I possibly could. Like I said, I was a nursing assistant. When I was in feds, I trained service dogs for people with disabilities. They do karaoke show. You know, they do it in the feds is a little bit different than the state. In the state, I just did basically, I read, you know, did everything, but I really tried to better myself while I was in the federal system. And God is the only thing that brought me through that. When I got my sentence, I literally heard the voice of God telling me that I would not do all of my time. I heard the voice of God telling me that. And I held on to that the entire time. And everything that he told me came to pass. Every single thing that I heard from him, every message that I got from him, everything came to pass.
Amazing. With that being said, we always, you know, these prison stories, we try to give some hope. And this is the first time, again, that for us to have a woman, a female, to be able to talk to younger girls out there. You know, we try not to glorify prison and try to give a cautionary tale when we tell these stories. But for you, and again, sometimes it always is a guy behind a reason a woman actually has to look at a judge in the face. Can you give just some type of words of wisdom to a young lady that might be watching this, that may be in love head over heels and doing something for her guy that she just knows, like, I know this is wrong, but I love him so much? Can you speak to someone that may be going through the same thing? A
real man will never, ever, ever, ever lead their woman into doing something that's going to put them into prison. Love is never, ever worth putting yourself in a situation to where you are going to be arrested. And I know that a lot of young women are in love with these men and they think, oh, I'll do anything for them. They do anything for me. But most of the time, them men are going to ask you to take the charge because they already got one. You know what I'm saying? So I just want every woman to know and every little girl to know that there is hope and that you can make it and you can get out of addiction. I'm a living, walking proof that you can make it out of addiction and that you can give yourself a better life. And I wish to God every day that I could go back and do everything different, but there is a better life for you out there, and you can quit and you can stop, and it is worth it.
That right there, that hits home, because again, I know young girls who are head over heels, and again, like you said, a real man would never put you in a position, especially if you have kids, to lose, to where you may be away from your children and be in this situation like this. So, Tara, I appreciate you. And you have any closing words as far as, again, we like to talk to the young men who are dealing with young women and putting young women in scenarios like this, if you don't mind speaking to them.
I mean, she basically said a mouthful. Any real man, real young man, up and coming, even if you're not fully, developed knowledge-wise in the head, know better than to put your loved one in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not going to do it, why would you send her to do it? You know what I'm saying? Because me, per se, I'm not putting mine in nothing. I keep my dirt. I've always kept my dirt far away from my house. I was always taught, never shit where you lay. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to say this is what you need to do, but I'm just saying if you're going to do it, don't involve your girl. Don't involve your kids. Because one of the main focuses that the feds do, or any police for that matter, when they can't break you like an egg, they're going to that woman.
Yeah.
They're going to that woman. Because guess what? That woman got them kids. She care about them kids. So if I break up first, I ain't even worried about you no more. Yeah. If I break her, if I just take these kids, just even for a month or two, she gonna break weak, and guess what? You're gonna be willing to kill her. Yeah. But you done that. You done that. Yeah. It's not worth it.
That's why you say you got to marry the girl so she can, be a witness against you. Yeah, they say that, but they'll still find a way. The feds like to lean on our ignorance. They love to lean on our ignorance.
I heard you ask a question earlier about the toughest part for somebody to be in prison, and I think it's a little bit different for women because of the way that the most difficult thing for a woman in prison is her family, her kids, because she is the nurturer and she is she's the woman. So that was the most terrible part for me.
Right. To rip the mother away is like, that really kills that. If anything, that kills the family. Yeah. That kills everything.
That's the foundation, bro.
Yeah. Man. So that's definitely the worst part.
All right. With that being said, man, this is hopefully the first of many. Tara, I thank you for coming on and speaking, and again speaking in your truth. And I thank you for helping direct this thing. Once again, this is Prison Stories 101. I appreciate both of you coming to sit down, and I salute.
Salute.
Thank you.